everybody. So I am pretty excited about these two projects, and I don't know how they're going to turn out, but they turned out pretty cool on the digital aspect, so I'm hoping they turn out cool when I put them all together. Krystal, one of the creative team members for Ali Edwards, put together a series about making fringe or using fringe in your projects, and I thought I could bust out my really old fringe scissors and maybe try that on these papers. These are two recent photos of my kids that I really loved, and I decided to make two digital layouts with their favorite colors. So my daughter's is red and my son's is blue, and I basically made my own papers in my Ali Edwards stash, which is something I love to do. Not only do I go in and play with my digital stuff when I'm feeling kind of uninspired, I just go in there and play and see what I can come up with, but I also love putting a new twist on my supplies. So like this one, I liked it because it looked like a paint swatch, and it is part of the bottom of a journaling card, and I just duplicated it, and the photo is going to go in between, so that's why there's a break right there. But I basically took this part of the journaling card here and here, duplicated it, and then rotated it 180 degrees, and then duplicated it again, and then now I can just add fringe here, or maybe here, because that's the way that the brush stroke goes. This one, the bottom of a 4x6 card, that's where I got the red color, and then I took a digital stamp from the Grow kit and turned down the opacity. So that's how I made this one. This one was another bottom of a card that I just clipped and used and duplicated, and then I took a heart and duplicated that as well to make like a little heart pattern. This one was the bottom of a card as well, and I just duplicated it. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 papers, if you could call them papers. For the one for my son, I did basically the same thing. Like this one, I did a heart pattern, but I did like 1 large, 2 small, and then just filled them in. This one was, I think, from the Breathe kit, and I just used a big chunk of it. This one was a transparency, but putting it on the white background makes it obviously not a transparency since I didn't print it that way. This one was another card that had a brush stroke, and it was gray, and I just changed it, and then I duplicated it so that way it would all face to the left. This one is another journaling card, and I took a digital stamp and just duplicated that in different sizes. I know that was an incredibly long introduction, but I really wanted to explain all of the digital aspects. And if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sabrina. I'm on a few design teams, and I have a class with Big Picture Classes. All that information is in the description box below. All right, I'm gonna get started on putting this together and seeing what I can come up with.
All right, I know that was the longest introduction ever, and I am happy if you are still with me. I appreciate it. So I'm starting with my son's layout, and I am stacking the strips in the order that I want, and then I'm going to use my Martha Stewart fringe scissors to make the cuts. I decided to do a left and right cut, and I also noticed that if I fully chomp down with the blades and not try to do a half cut, that I will get a more defined fringe look, and I'm really liking it. I did decide to not cut 2 of the different strips, the heart one and then the love you one. I just felt like those ones didn't need a cut. I'm also going to use some foam dots to raise up the picture, and I wrote on a tag, and I'm going to add in some string for the journaling tag, and then I will be able to put that behind my photo. But first, I am going to go ahead and adhere down the strips, and I'm going to kind of stagger where I put them. So Some go closer to the left and some go closer to the right. And some I tuck under, like this one right here I tucked under. And then this heart one, I think I'm going to tuck that under as well. And then this typography, that's what I like to call it, the typography one, I'm going to have to lift up the heart paper so that way I can tuck that in fully. And then I'll wind up trimming off a little pieces of the fringe that hang over and then just have to press down the heart paper and make sure it's not sticking up. And then I will put down the last strip and I will be ready to add in the tag and then some embellishments. I have a fussy cut title, and as I was putting down the U, I noticed that the U, the actual letter U, is not going to need any foam dots because it's going to rest on top of my photo. And now I can put that in, and I'm going to pull out some puffy hearts and some word stickers. I also have 2 digital arrows that I wanted to add in. So I'm going to make 2 small clusters. I don't have a full visual triangle, but I didn't feel that I needed it. So I'm just going to break my own rule and not really do a visual triangle, and that's okay with me. So I'm going to have the U, and then above it I'm going to put a sticker that says becoming, and so it's going to be becoming you, and then a puffy sticker as well, because my son is now 11 and he is definitely changing and just overall an awesome kid. All right, moving on to my daughter's. I did red, that's her favorite color. So once again, starting with stacking them in the order that I want them. And then I'm going to do the fringe towards the bottom. At first, I had it sticking up to the top, but I don't know. To me, that looked ridiculous to have the fringe at the top. I don't know why, but it just looked really weird. So I am going to go ahead and flip those and then continue to cut my fringe. And like I said, if you push down fully to cut, then it will make a much more defined fringe, which I really liked. And on this one, I cut every single piece of paper. I didn't skip any paper at all. So every single paper is going to have the fringe, and then they're just going to lay on top of each other. And like I said in the introduction, the stripped paper and then the dot paper have a little gap because that's going to be where the photo rests. So I don't necessarily have to continue the pattern all the way through. So it makes it easier on me to not have to carry it all the way through and repeat stamp everything. Okay, so I'm putting these down and I'm doing my daughter's design a little bit different with the strips down lower, concentrated more towards the right. And I ran out of foam dots, so I'm just going to use a thin piece of chipboard, a few foam dots that I have left. Then I'm going to measure the tag to see how low I want the tag to go. And then depending on that, that's where I will reposition my foam. So that's what I'm checking right there. And then I will be able to adhere down the photo of my daughter and stick in the tag. And I also fussy cut out a circle digital stamp. I'm trying to think of the word. You are my sunshine, and I'm going to pop dot that with some small puffy hearts, and I'm going to pop dot that with some foam and then add in some puffy hearts. I'm going to just do the same thing I did with my son's, put a top cluster up above the tag and then a cluster over by the bottom left for a nice title cluster, and also adding in some wood veneer. I then decide to add in 2 wood veneer pieces for my son's layout and just kind of fix the cluster up there. I'm going to go ahead and fix that cluster right there, switch where the heart is and the arrow, and then I'm also going to add a wood veneer that says celebrate above the title that I had for my son to wrap up both of these projects that I absolutely love. Gluing down that last veneer, and I'm done.
All right, so I finished these and I love them. Oh my goodness, I love them, you guys. I absolutely love these. It reminds me actually of a digital layout I did many years ago, and it was like a Valentine's theme, and I did almost a similar design but I did one for my daughter and one for my son, and I just loved them. It really captured them right then at the moment, and I feel like that's what this one did. So I hope you enjoyed seeing these come to life. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel and want to keep seeing my videos. All right, have a great day. Thanks again for watching.